Welcome to Talking Down the Highway, a Beach Boys podcast presented by Strange Currency Music. I'm Matt.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Tim. Thanks for listening. Bye. Oh, damn it.
Our shortest episode ever.
We really have to do this one.
Bowie, it's okay.
No, I'm with Bowie.
I did not wear my Dodger hat today, and Bowie still barked his head off at me.
You talked about this in the last episode.
I know, and I just want to reiterate, I'm trying to distance myself from Mike Love.
No, you don't get to do that. You are a Dodger fan, and Dodger fans are terrible, terrible people. And that has been established.
We know how much you love Mike Love.
Yeah.
It's summertime. It's summertime. I'm enjoying baseball. I'm enjoying good weather.
You know, you'd enjoy baseball more if you were a Phillies fan. Just saying.
I'm so.
It is summer though now. It
alas.
is actually summer. At least when this is going out. When we're recording this, I don't know. Glenn and I still have another week left, I guess. But by the time this thing drops, it's summertime.
I'll be on the river. Shorts. I did put away a bunch of sweatshirts in the old winter bin.
I wear sweatshirts year round.
I should say sweaters. Sweatshirts.
Not
A
hoodies.
lot of the sweatshirts stayed out, but the sweaters went away. I had to put away my Big Lebowski sweater.
Yeah, it's logical.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
It's a little heavy.
sweater.
Yeah. Any exciting summer plans other than lounging?
I'm going to Europe.
What?
Yeah.
When?
July. Like finally, we've been trying to
go
go
to
for like 5 years.
Gonna record, remote record the podcast.
Oh, about that. Yeah, we might have to do a little finagling. And we're just
we
gone
might
for
have
2
to
weeks.
record a few in bulk and then just distribute them because
Going to Holland?
No, I wish. No, like, you know, we got my wife's got family in Switzerland, so we're gonna do a little bit of Zurich. I mean,
Zurich is stained, but
well,
it's not
it's
your
not
fault.
my fault.
we're gonna do a little bit of Paris, a little bit of France, although the Olympics are happening there,
yeah.
so it'll be
That might be crazy.
It'll be wild, and you know we're gonna bounce over into London, so we have a couple
Fucking
days.
love London.
I know,
It is
right?
So cool.
So we're gonna do that a couple days.
Are you gonna take the channel?
That is
Get out
Get out of the tunnel!
Seinfeld.
I know, but I'm sure I can tell right now.
Hey, get out of the tunnel, all right?
I'm marking it right now. I think the highlight of my trip is going to be we're going to go to Versailles. We're going to go to the gardens of Versailles, and apparently, like, you can hike, like, spend all day like hiking and walking and biking the grounds of the gardens of Versailles. But we're taking my mother-in-law.
Oh.
That's my excuse. We're getting a golf cart.
Oh, good.
And we're just gonna ride a golf cart around the gardens of Versailles.
Are you gonna? I guess Paris. I think in France you drive on the right side of the road.
We are going to be renting a car, but I will not be doing any driving. I promise you that.
I drove in the UK. I fucking loved it.
Oh, really?
It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah. I
I
mean,
might have to do it just to say.
like I
did,
had
but-
to engage with driving in a way that I haven't in decades. Like just because it just becomes so monotonous and
Yeah.
second nature and everything. And it was like I loved.
That's pretty cool.
Driving on the left side of the road, on the right side of the car, like having to adjust to kilometers instead of miles per hour, like figuring out the just sort of ways of driving,
it's exhausting.
No, it was
Pass.
amazing. And actually, now that I'm like mentioning it, we were talking before we came down here, we're musicians. We're going to do a little bit of one of our other summer plans. We're doing some more royalty free to us music this summer, but I was talking about alternate guitar tunings. It's a very similar kind of thing, having to like re-engage with something that just has become so rote and second nature, like in a different way. It's kind of like, I don't know, I never learned how to speak a second language, unfortunately, but I imagine it's kind of like that, just like shifting into a totally different mentality.
Right,
like, how do I do this thing that I've always done, but in a very, very different kind of way? Right. I loved it. It was cool.
Were you driving a little Mr. Bean car?
No, we actually had like a really nice. They messed up our reservation, so we ended up getting like an upgrade to a really, really nice rental. It's like a Mercedes SUV thing
Damn.
that we drove around to Stonehenge. We got to see
Stonehenge?
where the demons, the banshees live, and they do live well. I can confirm.
I'll say though,
But we drove up to Liverpool, which was very, very cool as a Beatle nut, and we drove to Edinburgh, which is awesome.
how do you think you would handle? Do you know how to drive stick?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think you would handle that on a right-hand
That
drive
would be
car? That's a whole other.
That would be a little weird.
Yeah.
I am left-handed though, so I think
okay,
maybe that might make it a little bit easier.
Interesting.
But I don't know.
Interesting. I didn't even thought about that.
But yeah, no, it was cool. But so you said your highlight, you gotta. I mean, again, as a music fan, you gotta go to Abbey Road.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we're gonna do. I think we're gonna try for my 10-year-old sake. I think we're gonna do a tour of Wembley. You know, it's not soccer season, or football season, but we're gonna at least try and tour that. But yeah, we'll do Abbey Road.
It was said that I actually might have shed a tear while standing outside of Abbey Road. My kids gave me a hard time about it. The gate was open, and they said that I was about to pull a January 6th, that I was just going to like storm through and like bust my way into Abbey Road just so I could go down to Studio 2. I don't think I actually shed a tear, but if I ever got to go into Abbey Road and like walk into Studio 2, I guarantee I'd be like fucking bawling.
And there was just like a Mellotron sitting there, like
no, like that is.
Calling you.
Look, I mean, my beliefs are what my beliefs are. That is the closest thing in my world, I think, to like a sacred site, like right. Studio 2, Abbey Road. Like if I walked in there, it would be like I'd have to fall on my knees.
Mecca.
And my understanding is that Lennon is there preserved in a glass case.
Yeah, in a glass
right?
case.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's that Lennon, right? It's John Lennon.
You can leave alms.
That's part of the reason why I wanted to go inside to pay my respects. But we went to his house, his boyhood house in Liverpool.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, good times. Yeah, so that's my summer.
Well, yeah, you're going to have an infinitely cooler
jealous.
Summer than me. Like I might go to San Francisco for a weekend or maybe Vancouver, international trip,
Well, I'm not an educator, so I'm just going to work and like be a normal, just live a normal life all
Summer.
the time.
Summer.
Yeah. Everyone should get a summer vacation.
Sorry about
They
that.
should, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're really excited about this next topic. I think that's why.
That's why we're really drawing out our intro.
I've actually been putting. I have a video on Instagram on a loop of a child shooting his mother with some sort of Nerf gun in the back of the knee while she's on a ladder painting a wall, holding a tray of white paint in her left hand, and she falls back onto the couch and dumps all the paint on her face, and then stands up and she's like walking around like a blind lady. It's probably staged. But I've looped it about 40 times since we started the episode because that's how interested I am in the topic that we're about to discuss.
Wow.
Oh, well, I found Glenn's talk about going to Versailles in a golf cart. I found that to be riveting.
It distracted me from the mom falling down, but then I went right back to it. I'm looking at it now.
Wow. That's funny. How you feel about today's topic.
Child runs away afterward.
Well, why are you doing that now? This is easily the most interesting and worthwhile part of this episode.
That's true.
We're front loading things today. Like this intro is the best. Everything to come after this, I'm sorry people, but this episode is gonna suck.
I mean, it's a pretty funny video. I haven't heard it with audio yet.
Y'all stop.
Wow.
Yikes. Oh, gee.
Okay. It's way better with audio.
Yeah. Is that Jurassic Park?
And it's just on a loop, huh?
Wow.
Okay. Well, people, this is your consider yourselves warned. This is trigger warning here. Those of you who are faint of heart, squeamish,
depressing.
You might want to just skip this episode. Because
no,
I don't know. I would say that this episode is going to be inoffensive.
The only optional episodes are the two that I was not involved in.
Yeah. When you were trapped inside of a whale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Canon. All right. Speaking of things that canon
can be shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. Let's take a break and we'll come back and talk about our topic.
Yay.
We're back. Talking down the highway.
Yeah,
the Beach Boys podcast.
Officially the 80s.
Presented by Strange Currencies
Just
Music.
hanging out, you know.
The year is 1981.
Wait, what
A young Tim is not yet born.
I'm negative 1 year old.
Yeah. Matt and Glenn are just little tykes,
toddlers,
as it were. Yeah. I'm,
bobbling around,
doing what I do.
So
I'm like a year and a half old, maybe.
I don't even remember. What was the last album we did?
Keeping the Summer Alive.
We kept the summer alive.
Yeah,
that was
we
what,
did. We
what
succeeded.
Year was that?
We saved summer.
That was, what year was that?
That was 1980.
80, okay.
That was 80. Okay, so we're into 80 now. Yeah. It's 1981. We kept the summer alive.
Santa Ana Wins. That was a pretty okay song.
I just watched an episode of Baywatch where the Santa Ana Winds played a pretty major role. There was an electric eel. It attacked Hobie.
Hobie.
And Mitch had to kill it using a defibrillator.
Wow, how's Hobie doing these days?
He's probably dead. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, Mitch.
Let's talk about Baywatch.
Yeah. All right, so 1981. We've kept the summer alive, but it's time. This probably should have happened. Maybe this is what we wanted to happen.
Summer was kept alive for a while, but now we have entered into the winter of our discontent.
All right, so we're talking about a couple of solo albums today because we've entered solo territory.
Yeah,
we've
Dennis.
We've done Dennis.
Yeah,
Dennis.
Dennis has done everybody.
Wow. Okay.
In the studio.
Are we calling Love You Brian solo?
No.
Okay.
Damn it, Glenn. Stop with that. Stop with the is Carl and the Passions really a Beach Boys?
Okay. All right.
God, it's a fucking Beach Boys.
Right.
It shouldn't have been, but it was.
So it's 19
Adult Child is kind of the solo album though.
Okay.
No, I was still a Beach Boys.
Yeah.
It's 1981, and we're going to talk about a couple of solo albums today. Carl gets his chance. Carl's Big Chance.
It's just called Carl Wilson, I believe, right? The album.
Just Carl Wilson.
Carl Wilson.
And yet that title was about the thing that had the most effort put into it on it.
No, I disagree. We can get into it.
But then we're also going to talk about another Beach Boy solo album. Mike Love gets his chance.
Yeah. We finally get to hear Mike without being drugged down by Brian.
Right. We're looking back with love.
We're looking back with
the
love.
Name of his album.
At Mike's
because
debut.
It's just like the documentary where we look to the past from Mike's point of view. We're looking back with love. This is what it was like. Yeah.
Does Al Jardine have a solo album?
Yeah, eventually, I think. Okay. And Bruce obviously had that stupid one where he's wearing that stupid outfit on the cover. We're not covering.
Does
those.
David Marks
I listened
have
to a
a
little
solo
bit
album?
of the Bruce one. I think I like the Bruce one. I'd have to listen to it more in depth.
Right, so we're going to tackle Carl Wilson and Mike Love's solo albums today.
Yeah.
It's 1981, if that should give you
But what year is it?
I'm just saying, if that is going to give you some
Glenn, tell the people what decade they're in.
It is MOR. It is.
It was the worst of times. It was the worst of times.
Oh, that's quoted to great effect in the title track of
I'm
Mike
just
Love's album.
saying, if you listen to these solo albums, you will be reminded that it is, in fact, 19. Okay.
All right. So context, there's really no context.
There's no context. It's fine.
Carl,
the band's falling apart.
Yeah, Carl's frustrated about the Beach Boys' output or lack of or quality of or whatever.
Dennis has been doing his own thing.
Right. So he's
getting really into
lead.
deep sea diving.
With Daryl Dragon. Too soon.
He gets this little solo deal going, and he puts out an album with who is the lady that writes the lyrics? She is the wife of someone.
You're talking about Carl's album?
Yeah.
Are we tackling him?
No.
In that
Okay.
order?
So maybe I don't know. So anyway,
we really didn't plan this out.
So that's the context of Carl's album. He wants to do a solo album.
I talked Carl's first.
Mike's similar thing, I think.
That's the order that I listened to them.
Okay, that's what I listened to.
Mike, the only sort of context I have for the Mike one is that he apparently had a couple of solo albums that were shelved, and some of those songs ended up on Keeping the Summer Alive and the other one, I think, Light Album. And so finally in 81, he's got his full solo album.
It's about time, yeah. People have been clamoring for it.
Yeah. So my biggest thing that I dove into, I listened to Carl's album first.
Me too.
And trying to wrap my head around this, I just kept coming back to trying to put my finger on the genre. And that's where I kept it. This is middle of the road. This is MOR, middle of the road. I also saw a lot of AOR, which
Alexandria Ocasio. What is AOR?
Well, Matt called it album-oriented rock.
No, that's album-oriented radio.
Album-oriented radio.
Adult-oriented
rock. Okay. All right.
Can we just use words instead of letters?
Soft rock?
Yeah, adult contemporary.
Light rock?
Yeah.
Easy listening?
Yeah.
Shit sandwich?
Does that mean the shit's in the middle and the outer layers are good, or is that just all of its shit?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it transcends time. It does. It transcends time.
It sucked then and it sucks now.
Well, I mean, I was kind of looking at, I was trying to gauge what really is this soft rock, light rock, MOR, AOR, adult contemporary, and I started kind of looking at what other bands are looped into this.
Yeah.
And I saw The Association.
I've never actually listened to them, but they've got like a hit, right?
Bee Gees.
Yeah, Along Comes Mary. Right?
I saw
Wendy.
I saw the Bee Gees
Really?
Cherish.
here. Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel are good.
Well, okay. Who are you to assume that MOR is bad?
You mean AOR?
AOR, soft rock.
Words. Does like Christopher Cross come up? Or
Yeah,
any of the
I feel like
so here's
what's
the thing.
associated as AOR and MOR is just stuff that sucks that we don't have a better way of describing.
Okay, so that's
like
what I wanted to
POS.
talk about.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Is this genre of music just music that's bad? Or is it just like soft, inoffensive, easy listening, contemporary adult? Because as time went on in a lot of those different names, soft rock, light rock, adult contemporary, Fleetwood Mac's name was dropped, Eagles.
We're getting into some of my favorites here.
Okay, but
Foreigner.
Doobie Brothers.
Well, hold on.
Okay, is this later? Is this later into the 80s?
Well,
okay,
Foreigner, Journey, Toto.
Really?
All of this stuff.
Wait, it gets better. Coldplay.
All right.
U2 moves into
I don't think it's in the
soft
same...
rock, easy listening, adult contemporary, MOR.
MOR.
Train.
Ugh. Yeah. Okay.
So, there's this New Yorker article that I want to quote here. It says, they described MOR, middle of the road music, as musicians who avoid edgy, innovative material and who calibrate their musical appeal to commercial, popular musical taste.
Sure.
Oh, so that means these must have been big hits.
I just want to say, we're talking when you mentioned quality before. Is this just music that's bad or whatever? And maybe it's just Michael McDonald. Some of it is great in its own weird, sort of boring way.
So now here's another distinction, though.
Run Like the Wind or Ride Like the Wind? I think that's a Christopher Cross song, but McDonald comes in.
So I think this is another...
elevates the whole thing.
This is a distinction
goes,
now that we have to make.
That one song, yeah.
We do
I
have
think that's
middle of the
Doobies.
road, MOR, AOR, soft rock, light rock, easy listening, adult contemporary. We also have yacht rock.
Yeah. Sorry, I just fell asleep there. hit my head on the desk of the studio.
Yeah, yacht rock. See,
So
and yacht
now
rock
yacht
has a certain
rock-
appeal. And this is like yacht rock, and I said this about Light Album. This is like yacht rock without that appeal somehow. I don't know.
So yacht rock, Doobie Brothers, Kenny Loggins, Steely Dan, maybe Toto
I don't know.
as well.
I guess.
So this then sent me down that rabbit hole. Now what's yacht rock then? There is an entire podcast. There's like an online kind of community, and you can look this up. There's a podcast called Yacht or Not.
Okay.
No,
I will
wait,
not look
wait.
it up.
Yacht or Yacht?
I will definitely not look into this.
Well, okay, whatever. So apparently, it's this group of online music journalists. Back in 2005, they coined the term yacht rock. That term hasn't been around forever, and so they coined that term yacht rock. They launched this website, Yacht or Yacht, whereby, as you can imagine, they go and they put up songs and they decide whether it's yacht rock or not.
Yeah.
And so like essentially
Who cares?
It.
It's the lifeless,
I'm into
soulless
this.
80s.
I'm interested.
Well,
I'm
is
interested.
it though? So again, I think
point.
there's a
Is it?
difference.
Right.
I think that's the point. There's a difference between just like bad or inoffensive or I don't know, light, soft rock. Well, so they've tagged this web collective has tagged 4 relevance to decide whether something is yacht rock or not. It's of high production value.
Sure.
Lots of production. The use of elite Los Angeles-based studio musicians and producers, right?
Guess.
It's got jazz and R&B influences.
Yeah.
Use of electric piano.
Okay.
Lots of electric piano.
Michael
apparently.
McDonald is not one of the pillars?
Well, complex and wry lyrics about heartbroken, foolish men, particularly involving the word fool.
What a
Apparently
fool
that happens a lot.
believes. Yeah.
And then an upbeat rhythm called the doobie bounce.
Okay.
Apparently that's what yacht rock is.
I don't want to spend too much time on yacht rock.
I'm
but
hating.
well,
every
is
second
Carl
of this.
predating yacht rock here in '81, or is it
No,
right in the
because
thick
yacht
of it?
rock like goes back to the
It's the 70s, right?
Right.
Like the
Well,
okay.
People would even say, people would argue that the origin of yacht rock is, wait for it, Sloop John B.
Oh, it's
Well,
that's
hey,
dumb.
Okay.
Those people are wrong.
yeah.
Heroes and villains.
well,
Those people. Villain.
They say the origin of yacht rock's predilection for sailors and beachgoers aesthetic was lifted by everyone. So the idea was, okay, hey, the Beach Boys with Sloop John B, they did this song that was kind of about sailors and beachgoers, and now everyone to follow was like, ooh, they're onto something, and let's make something that's nautical and that's
but it's
like
not nautical, except for Sailing by Christopher Cross.
okay, but
no.
it's lifted from that. And so here's
I
what
think it's
I'm
more about the vibe. Like we're chilling, we're rich, we're on a yacht.
And we have no soul.
okay. All right.
And there's a saxophone solo for some reason.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna listen to yacht rock on the way home.
We are almost 23 minutes in. Can we just like
Hey, I was trying to get away from having to actually talk about.
you are making an already tedious
come back and
thing
talk about
even
Carl.
more so.
Let's do it. Let's do a break.
Let's do a break and we're going to come back and specifically talk about this Carl album. All right.
All right, we are back on the Beach Boys solo albums.
You know what
of
song I really
1981.
like? The Traitor. It's really
Poor
good.
Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl.
Feel flows.
Carl has lots to love, and may I remind you, Carl's a 4.0.
No, Carl should be.
No,
All right.
see, this is my point.
Can you bring the
what we're getting
volume
at.
down just
Here's
a
what
little
we're
bit?
getting at. Carl he had made at this point so many great contributions to the Beach Boys that
Yes.
to hear this is his first solo album. It's called Carl Wilson. Is just like it's so far from those songs. It's just like kind of
We had hoped
shocking.
for
It's
so much.
disappointing. Like Carl, I thought better of you.
Yeah.
So,
But
let's take this quickly, track by track.
well, hold on. I just want to say like a couple notes I took about overall the quality and whatever, all that shit. I can see what he's going for, right? Like he has always had to write songs in the context of the Beach Boys, of the group. And this is literally him. He's trying to be more contemporary. He's trying to be
Adults,
to have his own voice. To
not
be,
a boy.
right. And
Adult, contemporary.
but I think what the problem is that it's too contemporary. It feels of its time, which makes
Yeah.
it feel dated,
Yep.
especially
it's light.
now.
It's light.
And like the songs are fine I have here, but nothing punches through. There
Yep.
aren't any like, some of those like yacht rock songs or whatever boring adult contemporary songs have little hooks, things that catch in your brain. And this one, none of these really do. And they all kind of go on a little too long.
Oh, way too long.
So track one, Hold Me. I wrote it's inoffensive. It's fine.
I think when
It's
when it finally gets to the chorus, it's relatively catchy.
I wrote down cowbell click.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a click track and it's the cowbell and it's like
Yeah.
It feels like it's very plastic and soulless and like perfect and, you know,
I want to
inoffensive.
Well, I said that opening your solo debut with a duet is a choice. Like,
Right.
if this is really all about him stepping out on his own, then why is the first song on the album a duet?
Well, and one thing about this album too is, he didn't write any of the lyrics. The lyrics were pretty much all written by Myrna Smith, who was apparently the wife of his manager Jerry Schilling, and she's the one that you hear also, the woman's voice singing. Yeah. So it's a solo album in the sense of the music and a lot of the instrumentation, but he had a co-writer for the whole thing. I don't know how much, I'm sure they collaborated on the content, the subject matter. But yeah, some of it does have almost a couples vibe. There's definitely some duets in there. And yeah, I guess it kind of takes away from it sounding like his voice purely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, next song.
There are some moments. I mean, so Bright Lights.
I felt like one of those Brian mundanity of life songs a little bit, but from like a celebrity perspective,
this one felt too clean to me. Too like the background vocals. I guess maybe if I'm wanting to hear some of those classic Beach Boys, whatever, this is not it. They're not Beach Boys background vocals. They're like borderline cheesy. I mean, what are you gonna do about it?
Didn't really stick in my head. I don't really remember even what it sounds like.
Right.
Which makes it immediately one of the better things here if you forget about it.
Okay.
Next one is called "What You Gonna Do About Me."
Oh, what are you gonna do?
My note is it's not too bad. Whatever.
Yeah, I put that this has some weird potential because there's on the chorus there's like this organ and the background vocals.
There was something about it I remember
interesting,
liking.
A little bit different, and there's potential, but then it like goes back into this just inoffensive, predictable soft rock. Okay. So I don't know. There's moments where it's like, okay, there's an idea here, but
So the next one, The Right Lane, this is the one that's way too Don Henley, way too Eagles, whatever.
My literal note here is that you, Don Henley?
Yeah, no good.
And then it sucks.
It sucks. It
I
does
put
suck.
overbite guitar solo.
Overbite?
Like white guy overbite, like that opening lick.
I gotcha.
And then the solo too was just like, ugh.
I also said it doesn't need to be this long, Carl.
Yeah, a lot. Like I said, a lot of them are too long because it's like they all repeat the structure twice, and there's not always a bridge. It's just like, I don't know, no good. Next one's called Hurry Love.
Hold on, my note here. I have a note. Turning the record over is the most exciting thing to happen so far.
There we go. Wow. Yeah. So I guess side 2 opens with Hurry Love, which I don't remember what it sounds like, but my note is pretty good. Could almost fit on a Beach Boys album. Doesn't quite get to that level. The vocal is good, but then gets a little boring.
Yeah, I said slower, acoustic. It's fine. It's soft.
I noted here that Carl can still sing, but his voice is wasted on this shit.
There you go.
Beyond forgettable. Yes, Hurry.
Okay.
Next song is called Heaven. My note is rude to remind me of his death. But I thought it was pretty good.
This is where I felt like, this feels like a heartfelt vocal. I enjoyed listening to Carl's voice on this, whereas it felt kind of thin and soulless earlier. Here it felt like a decent vocal. I felt like this is the Carl. He also has like this really pretty part where he goes falsetto that I like in it. So I like this one.
I said, okay, this is nice. Clearly the best thing here.
Yeah, it probably is the best thing.
Yeah, it rises to that ultra high level of being a 3 out of 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
nailed
the
it.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Okay, but the next one, it's called The Grammy, which it's an upbeat song, and it's kind of hilarious. I don't know if it's good.
Oh, it's not good.
But just you won a Grammy, you won a Grammy, whatever it is. It's about him winning a Grammy, I guess. I don't know. But then the weird theme,
kind of funny.
The weird theme of like, oh, it's been good all this time, but just now it's getting recognized. I don't know if he's talking about the Beach Boys or what, but it's like, I don't know.
There was like an interesting rhythmic bit in here that kind of broke it up a little bit, gave me a little hope.
Oh yeah, there's some time signature weirdness going on. I do remember that.
But then like the background vocals are super cheesy.
Yeah, so what the fuck is up with these choral vocals?
Yeah.
No, just no, and then I hate this so much. Those were my.
I like this one in the tradition of me kind of liking the weird.
Yeah, right.
The weird ones on the album.
I totally see that.
But yeah, totally.
I thought you would like this one.
And then the final track. There's only 8 songs. It took me like 3 attempts to listen to this album all the way through. Seems So Long is the final one.
See, this was another like heartfelt vocal.
Yeah, I like this one.
It felt warm. I liked Carl. I felt like this was listening to Carl. But
I thought it was Dennis-esque. In a good way, I guess. A chill closer. There is a smooth sax solo, but I liked it.
I asked is Alf playing the sax solo?
Alf,
because Alf played the saxophone.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I thought
and if he was, that would maybe make it a little bit more interesting.
I wrote down Kenny G playing the saxophone.
Okay.
There was also some soft rock electric piano here.
To which I replied, I already had to live the 80s once. Seems so long
Hey,
ago.
what year was this?
Is this referencing when I began listening to this record? Because it sure seems like so long ago. Even though it's only 34 and a half minutes.
Right.
What year was this album made, Matt?
Just stop.
I don't remember.
Stop.
Long ago. Yeah. All right, so meh.
Yeah.
Last note, I made it through, but I'm not sure why.
Are we even rating these? I guess we should.
Yeah, we have to rate this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And here's the thing, like, I am rating all of this with the knowledge of still everything to come.
Right.
So as much like negative shit as I have had to say about this, there's still a floor that a Carl solo record from 1981 hits, and this barely hits that floor. But you guys go ahead first.
I always start with the neutral, which would be 2.5 David Marks. This is below neutral for me. So
It is below,
I'm going to give it a
definitely.
Wilson Phillips, but I'm not going to go any lower than that.
I almost want to go a little bit lower, but I'm right between Stamos and Wilson Phillips. Like at a 1.8.
I think it's I think you could round up to it too.
Yeah, I on Rate Your Music, I gave it the lowest possible because I get into like a whole 10-point scale, but it's to tenths, so I gave it a 4.0, which is the very very bottom of Wilson Phillips.
Okay. Yeah.
I could have been a little petty and put it in a John Stamos, but I like Carl. I really like Carl.
But again, here's my point. Carl's got a Wilson Phillips. What did Dennis's solo album get? Just saying. Significantly higher.
I gave it, but yeah, it was
significantly higher. Mm-hmm. My point that Dennis Wilson is a 4.5.
No.
Carl's a 4.0.
No, their contributions to the Beach Boys, Carl brings so much more to the table, and he's not just a total piece of shit of a person.
Dennis used to beat up Carl, according to the documentary. All right, so. That is Carl Wilson.
I need a break.
The album.
I need a nap after that. All right. We'll be back to... Oh, fuck.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no!
Serious.
We're back on Talking Down the Highway to talk down the Mike Love album.
Let's not talk down Mike Love.
I mean, we're going to be talking down.
Well, sure, but isn't talking down like, no, you have too much to live for?
Good point. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead and jump, Mike.
Welcome to the podcast, talking Beach Boys, talking down the highway, where we listen to all of the Beach Boys songs, so you don't have to.
Basically. So Mike's solo album is called Looking Back with Love, which is a pretty great pun.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
What?
We forgot something.
Oh, no.
It sounds like it's time for an episode of Sound of Vision.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's time for Sound Vision versus all things aesthetic using scale provided to us by David Bowie. Glenn, if we really like something, we call it a
Low.
Low. That's right, David Bowie's masterpiece. Tim, if we don't like something, we call it a
Never Let Me Down.
Never Let Me Down, which David Bowie definitely let us down.
I hope he dies.
Not cool. You need to talk him down. But yeah. All right, and if it's in the middle ground, Let's Dance. David Bowie's okayest album.
I can't believe we were so
he at least weathered the 80s by making,
Right.
Some songs that were not just stupid and forgettable.
I can't believe we were so distracted by the poor quality of Carl's album. We forgot to rate
the cover.
The aesthetic.
Carl Wilson.
So I'm holding it right here. I went through the record store and I dug
low.
at Crossroads.
It's a low. It's a low.
What do I find there eventually in the racks after hours of looking?
It's a low.
One sexy motherfucker.
It is a low. Carl Wilson is gorgeous.
Tim, what would we call this? Say it.
Say it.
Say the line, Frenchie.
Say it.
I didn't do it. I mean, it's a hot Carl.
It's
goddamn
a hot
right
Carl.
it is. Yeah.
It is a hot Carl.
So Liz, this is like physically, appearance-wise, this is Carl at his peak, and as a chubby kid, it's so great to see the sort of chubby little brother, grow into such a handsome man.
The beard's doing him favors.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The
photography,
the shadow, the photography is
so
wonderful.
well presented. He's just this
stylish, peacoat, timeless,
very good looking man.
Yeah, hot Carl.
Hot Carl, which has no secondary meaning that I know of.
Oh dear.
Are we all on the same page that this is low?
Yeah, it's a low.
Yeah, it's a low. It's unfortunate that this is the best thing about the album.
Yeah. The rest of it is trash.
Yeah.
But the cover is why I was willing to go up to a 4.0. and ultimately, what that means in all of the conversions here means that it's a Wilson Phillips. Yeah. All right. Next we got
we have
two albums. Yeah. This is a double.
We're gonna double it up.
Double Sound and Vision.
This is such a so the Mike Love album cover. Looking back with Love, this is maybe the most low effort album cover I've ever seen. Is he just like in a room with like a picture of the ocean on the wall or something?
Yeah.
Or counterpoint, is he on a yacht?
No, I don't think he is.
This is not real.
Is he sitting on the edge of is he cruising? Is he on a cruise?
No, this is not the real ocean.
Overlooking the ocean. There's a little
bring it down.
Dude, I'm just saying there's a porthole over on the side.
He's in a waiting room.
So there's a picture on the back of it, and I did not get this album. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Where he's like standing in front. It's just like a total like
a backdrop.
It's a backdrop. Yes, he's not on a boat. So I tried. I want to get back. So like I said, I spent hours at Crossroads. I was there on a mission to find these two records, and I knew if I was going to find them, they were going to turn up in like cheap ass dollar bin things. And I found the Carl record for $3. Happy to pay for it. I like had those of you who know Crossroads, Glenn, you know Crossroads.
Yeah.
You got to sit there for a while.
You
got to go through the bins that are on the floor.
Did you find a stool? Did you sit down on the stool?
I'm just going through box after box, and at a certain point, I just had this thing of, what am I doing with my life? Like, what are the choices that I have made that have led me to be sitting on the floor at Crossroads Records for hours, thumbing through dollar bin records, looking for a Mike Love solo record? What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, this is not the album.
And I never found it.
This is the album that you stumble upon in a dollar bin,
and I've seen it before.
And you maybe grab it.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying about low effort? Like, he's just sitting in a room.
It is.
Someone snapped his picture, sort of candidly.
He's wearing a stupid fucking Dodgers hat.
Back off!
No,
he's wearing.
I will not.
Okay,
I will not.
He's wearing a shiny windbreaker.
Further adding to the soullessness of it.
At first, I thought he was shirtless under the windbreaker, but he's not. He's got a shirt on, but it's buttoned way low.
Yeah.
Whenever I get excited about my
ladies.
baseball team, the Dodgers have done something, Matt likes to remind me of this stupid album cover where Mike Love is wearing a Dodger hat.
The Dodger fans are terrible people.
So upset.
And the graphic, like the font, the graphic design, so it's just like the title of the album is in all caps, just kind of following one of the lines in the photo. with a drop shadow, but just a really basic font. The
so
G is even
bad.
bleeding over into this like white border of another image.
So bad.
And so without the drop shadow, it would have disappeared altogether.
Never let me down.
Never let me down. Never let me down.
You know, I think it's just this
So
deceptive brilliance of what seems like such a low effort. Okay, yeah, it's never let me down.
Don't even use the word low.
Look at the two of them. Look at the two of these albums side by side.
I'm holding my
oh my gosh.
my record next to the Rate Your Music JPEG, and the Carl
if that
one,
doesn't tell
inviting.
you enough, it's brutal.
All right, good episode.
Yeah.
Solid.
Okay, so let's get into this shit show.
Looking Back with Love.
All right,
I do think it's a funny title.
No, it's not. It's dumb. We get it. We get it.
I just want to say right off the bat that this, I mean, is it even really a Mike Love solo album? He didn't write anything except for he co-wrote the very last song.
I was fascinated, actually. If we're talking context, this was produced by Kurt Becher.
Kurt Becher, yeah.
Who
the production is good.
The production is what it is. I mean, it is rife with all of the 1981 stuff that you would expect. But I thought, so I look on it and it's spelled Kurt Becher, Becher,
right.
in terms of the production. That, of course, is not how he spelled his name. It's Boetcher.
TTC.
Yeah, TT. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is the guy, so Glenn mentioned the Association earlier, and he kind of got to start with producing them. He ends up forming two different studio group things, Sagittarius and the Millennium.
Oh, Sagittarius had what's his name in it? Roger Christian? No,
Usher.
Usher. Yeah, Gary Usher.
Right. And so that album's pretty okay. It's pretty good, actually. And it has My World Fell Down, which is one of the great Brian Wilson homages. I think you guys probably both know that song. It was on the Expanded Nuggets.
Yeah.
Great song. The Millennium album is great. Begin 1968. It's a fabulous record. So Kurt Becher, he's got some credentials in terms of production and writing, and some actual kind of sort of connections with the Beach Boys and everything.
Well, my comment on the production was that there is a lot of 80s stuff in here, but there's enough kind of throwback 60s stuff happening that
sort of
almost evens it out, I thought.
Yeah, I was so thrown off, though, because I look at the producer, it's Kurt Becher, Becher, and I was like, is this the dollar store version of Kurt Becher that Mike Love decided he wanted to spend the money on? Is it Mr. Burns when he wanted to make the film? He didn't want Steven Spielberg. He wanted his cheapest non-union Mexican equivalent.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Well,
but it's the real fucking Kurt Becher.
Wikipedia it says that he's got several, or at least two other alternate spellings of his name that I assume he's been credited as. So Bech, and I think there's a Betch one.
All I could find in terms of the connection to the one spelling is just on this one album.
Okay.
So it's
maybe that's where the wiki is
even he's
taking it from.
I don't really want people to know this was me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Only wrote one of these songs.
And overall, my comment is the song. Most of the songs are pretty good. Not counting the famous covers, because obviously those are good songs on their own. But someone else is writing these. They're not terrible.
Oh, they're pretty bad. Some of these are bad.
Some of these are bad. But I don't know. I just listening to this, I had an easier time listening to it in one sitting than I did Carl's. If that makes sense.
Okay, so I think I can put a finger on that. Yeah. I think I know what it is. First of all, I think that while Carl's album is soft rock, adult contemporary, this album is yacht rock. I feel like this album, the cover is what's that?
Not this whole talk again.
Well, no. I'm just saying. I think this one leans a little bit more into it. That's the differentiation.
I think it's more nostalgia.
Yes,
60s.
And I think that there's some of it there. But I think the other thing that got you is I think this one does a better job lifting the traditional Beach Boys vocals that we all
absolutely
come to.
Perhaps, but here's the other thing. Carl's album is just so bland and forgettable.
Yes, right.
There is nothing memorable about it. I cannot remember a single thing unless I'm looking at my notes on it. And we also hear that and we're like, oh, come on, Carl, you could do better. This one has such terrible moments and such what the fuck is going on here? That I would rather listen to this for the sheer entertainment value of making fun of it.
But also,
because it is not as just bland and forgettable as Carl's.
Agreed. But also, point being, this has that kind of Beach Boys-y, interesting kind of vocally parts, which I think, well,
I mean, that's his whole image.
Trying.
He's got to cash in on that
really
as much as he can.
To cash in and say, look, the Beach Boys
Remember
that you love, that's me.
Yep.
That's me. I'm the guy.
Yeah.
And see, look, and so like, whereas Carl wasn't trying to do that. He wasn't. He had some harmonies and stuff, but it wasn't.
Right.
And again, here's the distinction. I think this was Carl's was unforgettable, or forgettable.
Yeah.
Carl's is forgettable. This one is just like it's trying to be something else. It's yachty. It's bad. It's like, ugh. Yeah. It's electric piano. It's yacht rock.
Before we get into the songs, so I was just looking, as I always do, as a reference on Rate Your Music, and I was looking in the comments, and there were a few relatively funny things that were in there. But somebody just without comment just posted a link to a Twitter status from David Crosby, where he was asked by somebody named @BestBurgerEver, "Did you ever work with Mike Love?" And Crosby's response was, "Have not. Would not a good person." Which reminds me that it's time for an episode of Heroes and Villains. Okay. All right, Heroes and Villains. We're discussing heroes and the villains, whatever. Yeah. All right. Hero.
David Crosby.
Good Carl.
No,
I mean, he made a shit album, but Carl's still
photographer.
A hero.
Carl's photographer.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. His personal trainer.
His dietitian.
Yeah. All right, and Good Carl. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
One terrible album does not ruin Good Carl for me.
It makes you a 4 instead of a 4.5.
Shut up. I'd really rather prefer the abusive, Manson acolyte. Sure. All right, and the villain.
This is a tough one.
Phil Spector murdered his wife.
It wasn't his wife, but.
Try
the doctor.
It's fucking Mike.
Oh
it's
yeah,
It's Mike.
It's Mike. Yeah.
Easy. All right. Good episode.
Dear.
Okay. Let's talk about this album.
Yeah, let's zip through
terrible.
it. My notes are very basic. Track 1, he's trying to sound smart again. Bunch of references to literature,
but he didn't write
songs.
this.
He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't, and yet it seems so much like he could have.
Mikey.
Good vibrations, assassinations.
Yeah. Right.
My first thought, like looking back, is like, did he really rhyme good vibrations with segregation? Because like that's what I thought. Like, ugh.
Hey, he had a black friend, all right? Yeah, he's got a pass.
I guarantee you that while Mike did not get credit, if this song went platinum, that he would have sued for writing credits, because I guarantee you he sat down with this guy Dan Parker, whoever was credited.
Oh, no, that's his manager. Yeah.
Oh,
it's his business manager, because of course it was written by a business manager.
And I'll bet you anything, Mike was like, "Hey, let's add some, like, I don't know, some back to the 60s and some historical things, some literary things. Let's make notes of, I don't know, go and 409.
I mean, it's too similar to other songs that the Beach Boys have done.
Here's our formula.
Influence.
Go and list a bunch of beaches.
Like Do It Again, right?
Right.
Like,
it's the formula.
He definitely had a hand in it, even though maybe he didn't write the actual words.
Yeah.
But and then track 2.
Hold on. I said, unsurprisingly, Bruce contributes.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it was that he did, but he's on there somewhere. And, that hair guitar break is something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, like...
it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Sound and Fury.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
But just going back to the Do It Again thing, the next song, track 2, On and On and On, is an ABBA song that was apparently influenced by Do It Again.
Oh, yeah. It steals the...
And
I hate this song so much. I had never heard the ABBA song.
I've never heard it either.
It is so bad though. It's like
if you really, really squint, like
squint your ears.
so hard,
do not.
And maybe think that this is new wave. Like this really tries hard to be maybe a Talking Heads song. And it's you have to squint so hard. But I feel like that's what they were trying to do, and they just absolutely, it's butchered. This is awful.
I don't know. I have the word catchy in for both these first two songs. Like, whatever, they're catchy.
This is one of those car wreck songs. It's so
but you remember it. You remember it.
Absolutely. And even though he did not write it, it is so easy to imagine Mike Love writing the line of took advantage of the fact that I'm a star. To get all up in this woman's business.
Right. It definitely had like
Mike-isms. So Mike Love. That's so.
All right. I just have RATW. What does that mean? Oh, running around the world.
Running around the
world.
Run
in. Sorry, not running.
Run in.
Run in.
Why isn't it called Look In Back with Love?
Right.
Come on.
My only note on this song is the word dumb.
I just say there are still 7 more songs to go.
Cheesy synthesizer. Yeah. The vocals are trying to be Beach Boys.
Of course.
They
trying and
totally ripped off some vocal lines from
what
the Beach
if you
Boys
tried
song?
to make it sound like Beach Boys, but didn't have Brian Wilson involved? Here you go. Mm-hmm. All right, next one, Over and Over.
My word was Yikes for this one. It's a cover of a Bobby Day song, but it's still it's a reggae song, essentially.
Where are the steel drums is what I wrote.
Exactly. So I had said a couple weeks ago when we covered Keeping the Summer Alive that Sunshine was the whitest thing I'd ever heard, and my note here is, nope, this is the whitest thing ever.
And there are some synth steel drums in there.
Hey, is this done by Mike Love, the reggae artist?
Oh my God, there is. Oh, geez.
There is a reggae artist named Mike Love.
All right. Next
who
track
pops up on Apple Music before this Mike Love.
Yeah. All right, we got to keep going here.
Rockin' the Man in the Boat.
Wow.
My note is, who cares?
It's nautical. It's nautical.
Did any of you guys actually look into what the lyrics are and
Oh no.
Is it about tennis?
I just said, I know he didn't write it, but can it be used as evidence in the inevitable criminal trial? It is a song written from the perspective of a man watching a woman pleasuring herself.
Oh, God.
From a voyeuristic perspective.
Oh, no.
Yep. My note is beyond creepy, just not okay.
I think I do remember it having some of those undertones.
Yeah. The first time I listened to it, I was like, I didn't pick up on any of that. And then I'm doing research into this, and that is what the song is.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
So I missed that completely because I missed that completely, thankfully, because I wrote all I wrote was nautical.
Mm-hmm.
There's
it's
overbite guitar at the beginning. White guy. Yeah, this is yacht rock. More confirmation. But then I could not. I noticed on the liner notes that there was saxophone credited here, and I couldn't make it. I never listened to the song all the way through because I could not get to the sax solo. Was there a sax solo?
How
does it end?
I have no note. All right, let's move to side 2.
Calendar Girl.
Oh dear.
Bow, bow, bow,
bow, bow, bow.
Terrible version of Calendar Girl.
That's what I wrote down. Bow, bow, bow.
Yeah.
Was this a vocoder?
I have the word, dear God.
Was there did they put a vocoder on the bow, bow, bow?
Maybe.
Like it sounded like it was auto-tuned or something?
I just put whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then,
bad.
So the next one is Be My Baby, which my note is a sin.
Okay, how do you ruin the opening of this iconic track, Be My Baby?
By using synth
Look no
drums
further.
and shit. Yeah.
Look no further.
Awful.
Butchered this song.
So first off, a couple things here. We heard this very similar to this version on Adult Child.
Really?
That Brian actually had a hand in producing. And I kind of went into it with a little bit of the knowledge, like, okay, there's a little bit of Brian's fingerprints on this.
He's tagged as a co-producer on here.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
It is his favorite song of all time. Now, this version of it, not good.
Not
good
good
at all. But
all.
my note here is too good of a song to be completely destroyed by even this Kmart version.
Yes.
And Kmart version is exactly what this is. It sucks, but the song is still just too fucking good to be totally destroyed.
This is Mike desperately trying to be Brian, trying to
But Brian was involved. Like I said, the origins of this come from the Adult Child
And
sessions,
again,
apparently.
this is Mike Love just
ruining
desperately trying to show that he's connected. That he's part of this. Ugh.
All right, let's keep it moving along.
Next one is called One Good Reason. I apparently liked this song. I don't remember what it sounds like.
Oh, it's sleazy.
I have This Is Fine, but maybe the one good song
No,
is what
it's
I have.
not even good.
Hold on.
throwbacky.
Glenn, I say, I got caught up in texting with Rem while this one was on and hardly even noticed it. Therefore, easily the best thing here.
I have it as throwbacky in a good way.
Electric piano, dumb. That's what I put.
I don't remember.
All right. Next one.
Teach Me Tonight is another cover.
Synthesizer.
I have it as perfectly fine and pleasant.
Oh, no.
I like the harmonica solo.
No. I had never heard this song before. Apparently, it's like a jazz standard.
Yeah,
I did not know that. And even the list of people who have played it are like kind of a who's who.
Yeah.
I had never heard this song. It is so creepy and so bad.
I didn't notice any lyrics.
My note here is that it completely invalidates the very concept of education. It is like so gross I don't know. It's like, again, like that voyeuristic weird, like teacher, teach me how to love. It's gross. Gross. Awful. One of the worst things I've ever heard before.
I wrote synthesizer. And I also wrote, hey, yacht rock theme. I'm a fool. Teach me. That's another.
What a fool believes.
All right.
Paradise Found.
The one song that Mike wrote. Yeah.
I wrote definite Beach Boys throwback. I have it as fine.
Is this Mike? Is this Mike's vocal?
I think so.
Well, it's a duo. Duet.
Yeah.
Duet. Okay,
He's singing with Joni Summers.
Okay, so the opening vocals were actually decent. Like I was like, ooh, this has potential. What is this? And then like I didn't mind Joni's voice, like Joni Summers, like when her part comes in. If it means I don't have to listen to Mike, then great.
Mm-hmm.
And
that helps a little.
I think when there's like a chorus. That I think makes it like it becomes really dated all of a sudden.
Yeah,
kind of like, baby, come back.
That's totally it. I literally wrote "Baby, come back." I was bracing myself for the saxophone because again, I saw the notes that there was saxophone, but there was no sax solo. It didn't come. But at 1 minute and 56 in, here's the note I wrote. It's a 1981 sitcom.
Okay.
And it was like, "Baby, come back, baby, come back."
So here's my thought.
Yeah.
It's the one song that Mike Love wrote. Unsurprisingly, it sucks. But the one song that he wrote, and it uses a phrase in here multiple times. Let's go away for a while. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but he took that title from a song that was on an album that, let's not forget, Mike Love hated.
Oh, the Blue Album by Weezer?
Yeah, that
Let's
one.
Go Away for a While? A Holiday?
Yeah. That one.
That's interesting. Oh, wait, no. Probably not that one.
No.
That doesn't make sense.
No. For those of you who don't remember the instrumental on Pet Sounds, Let's Go Away for a While. And Mike Love takes that as the refrain.
To a stranger.
For the one
To-
song that he quote unquote wrote.
Yeah. Yep. I wonder maybe if Brian could have sued, perhaps for songwriting credit on this one.
Did he make any money on this
Oh
album?
yeah, I guess he wouldn't have actually won anything, nor bolstered his own reputation by having association with this shit pile of an album. All right, it's time to rate it.
Okay.
I mean, it's tempting to give it a Mike Love.
It is, but I just have to remind y'all, I know what's coming up still. Let's not overuse them.
Right. I'm
You
gonna
know
give
what?
it. I'm gonna give it a Manson.
It's not a Mike. It's not as bad as a Mike Love. It's a Charles Manson.
Yeah,
It is a Charles Manson.
It's a Charles Manson. It's
Absolutely.
not as bad as a Mike Love.
And it's at the low end of the Charles Manson, but it is a Charles Manson. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's now here's the other thing. Like, honestly, I mean, I'll rage listen to this. Like I'll listen to this because it's a little bit more memorable, it's a little more fascinating, it's a little bit more like, wow, this is bad.
Yeah. It at least elicits some sort of a reaction, and the Carl one doesn't.
Yeah.
But this album is
it's
garbage.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. It's a Charles Manson. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Hey, let's take a quick break because
Solid.
we are running out of time
Yeah.
here. All right. Well, that was something. Yep.
Just never speak of it again.
It was something.
Yeah, I think that might have killed the summer. Yeah. They had kept it alive.
It was on life support.
And now it's gone.
Yeah. But we're looking back with love.
These albums,
because I'm Mike Love, and you're looking back with me.
These albums were so bad that they killed Dennis. They literally killed Dennis with these albums.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well,
R.I.P.
We'll be back next time with
probably
the Beach Boys.
Good.
The Beach Boys. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If they self-titled this next album,
it's got to be good.
It's got to be a real comeback.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. All right. Well, hey, we will catch you then. Until next time.
Later.
This is Talking Down the Highway.